Hey, good morning, good afternoon. Whenever you find this, it's meant for you. Hello, friends. Today I wanted to talk about a couple things that I've been implementing in my daily practice, some new habits I've been really working to form in order to transform. And one of the side effects of them is I've become quite magnetic, which sounds kind of crazy and it feels crazy to say out loud, but compared to where I was a few months ago, before I started doing these things like relentlessly and rigorously with like my whole heart and soul in them, I wasn't attracting these types of synchronicities, these types of blessings into my life. So I wanted to share just a few different ways of how I've learned to become more magnetic, and there are different ways that you could try out too if you'd like. The first way is to brainwash yourself. So I've been working with meditation and hypnosis specifically on how to brainwash myself. And what's interesting is I was trying to record this video the other day and it wasn't working. And this morning I found an interview of Joe Dispenza on brainwashing yourself. And a lot of the things that he was talking about scientifically were things that I've been discovering in my own practice. And one of his key foundational points is that your personality creates your personal reality. And something that I've carried around is that I create my own reality. But thinking about it in terms of personality and personal reality is huge. And by personality, it's your thoughts, beliefs, emotions, things we give our attention and energy to. All of those things create our personal reality and are a part of who we are as our personality. So all of these habits and ideas and thoughts that we have deserve to be questioned at some point. Just to self-check, just for the sake of self-awareness, to make sure that they're serving us on our highest good and taking us to where our goals are and where we plan to be. You know, I've lived many years on autopilot, just coasting along, hoping for inspiration, realizing that it takes looking within and slowing down the mind from all of these different distractions in order to find those answers in myself. And I've been learning that by brainwashing myself and slowing my mind down, I've been able to take control of what I'm thinking and feeling and how I'm acting in order to shift into a reality that I'm really excited about and grateful for. So through meditation, a lot of people think it is just about quieting the mind, slowing down your thoughts, hearing your inner voice. And meditation can have a lot of different benefits to it and a lot of different ways to apply it. And what I've learned to use to apply it to is to quiet down the mind and separate from my body. And what I mean by this is slowing down enough to see where my energy is being pulled in different directions, like, oh, I don't have time for this, or oh, what's happening later, or oh, look how busy I am, or oh, this is how my stomach feels right now. Quieting through all of that and learning to be the observer of all of these different little bits of information that are coming up to us. And by being the observer, I can choose which ones get my attention. And attention is energy at the end of the day. So by choosing which ones we give our attention and energy to, we can make sure our energy is not so scattered, not so spread out, and we're able to spend it a little bit more intentionally. Because intention and attention are the real true keys to this. Our nerve cells that fire together wire together. So if I'm constantly having thoughts like, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I don't have time for this, and my nerves and my brain and my thoughts are constantly reminding me of these things, they're going to form a really strong connection, and that's going to become a habit in my mind. So it takes slowing down through meditation to observe these I'm not good enough, I'm not capable, I'm too busy thoughts, and seeing if they're actually true or if they're just habits, if there's some weight and gravity and truth to them, or if they're just something that I've been allowing to run on autopilot without questioning or understanding. We do have lots of thoughts, but not all of them are true. And something I learned in my own meditation practice was a lot of the thoughts and excuses I was coming up with in my head boiled down to me thinking that I'm not worthy and I'm not capable, which paradoxically, I tell everyone I love, everyone I come across, that they are worthy and capable of all of their desires. And I believe that we all have our unique desires because we're meant to have them and achieve them. And it's about getting out of our own way in order to do this. But through meditation, I realized I wasn't taking my own medicine. I wasn't practicing what I'm preaching, which was so fascinating to me. And with that awareness through meditation, I've been able to understand that not all my thoughts need my attachment. Not all my thoughts need the habitual and the repetitive notion of reinforcement that I could give to them. And that's where, from meditation, I started to discover hypnosis. Hypnosis to me is like meditation just ramped up a bit. It's when guided professionally, whether it's pre-recorded or through a specialist, you're able to enter theta brainwave state, which is a much slower brainwave state where you're able to access the subconscious mind. You're able to get out of that analytical way of thinking and into the subconscious mind where we can more easily reprogram ourselves and change the way we're hardwired. It's like getting into the computer code and being able to alter the different expressions so we can change the way the app runs. And through hypnosis, based off of the notes that I've been taking away from meditation, I've been able to find different guided hypnoses to help me with these unworthiness blocks, help me with these capability blocks, and doing something repetitive and daily over time, creating a habit out of it, allows it to be integrated into our personality, creating our personal reality. So by slowly and diligently chipping away at these limiting beliefs, I'm realizing I'm not having them as much anymore. I'm realizing I'm able to switch the lenses I'm viewing the world through by allowing myself the room and the freedom to dissolve these beliefs that don't serve me and hold no truth. Sometimes it can be really helpful to find the root of where these ideas and concepts come from, and a lot of times it comes from past experiences or even childhood, but for me, I'm not exactly sure still where they came from, but that's okay. I'm here to work on them, and I'm still curious as to their origin, but I'm not gonna wait to get started until I have all the answers. My last piece that's helped me become truly magnetic is approaching things with a state of neutrality. And with that, I mean not giving things super heightened emotion, whether it's positive or negative. And I'm personally a very emotional, very empathetic person, but I've learned that emotions are very energetically taxing. And by giving things heightened emotion, whether it's frustration or whether it's desire, it creates separation and it creates a resistance sometimes. And for example, if I really, really want to become rich and successful, and I throw tons of desire towards it and tons of that heightened emotion, it's going to create a separation from where I feel like I am right now, which is still on the road to embodying and cultivating my own sense of capability and worthiness, from this idea that with too much stretch feels really far-fetched. But instead, by bridging the gap and being like, oh yeah, that'd be great, but it's not the end of the world. It's just money. It's just success. I'll get there no matter what, and it doesn't define me. While I'm still building up that confidence, they're able to meet each other halfway. Same thing with negativity, by not getting super frustrated at that person with road rage, or getting super frustrated at the person that cut me in line, or getting super down with the really bad news and allowing my cortisol levels to spike up, causing me to go into a fight or flight response where I'm completely in my head and in my body and hypervigilant and not being able to stay grounded in the present moment. By removing that energetically taxing situation from my reality, I'm able to stay more grounded, stay more connected, and stay more present and aligned with the goals I set out for myself every morning and the goals that I'm trying to make progress on every single day. So not allowing ourselves to go too far away from center is really helpful. And one of the little tricks I've learned with that is identifying the emotions and creating space between myself and those emotions. And not saying I'm mad, but I'm feeling a little bit of frustration. Or not saying I'm super anxious, but I'm sensing a little bit of anxiety here, or a little bit of tension. And by labeling them as sensations versus identifying with them, it helps create that autonomy. It helps create boundaries. And boundaries is the third thing that has helped me become super magnetic. And it's not just boundaries with other people, but it's also boundaries with the self. And I heard this beautiful quote recently, and it was about like a friendship mix-up, and the girl said, are you really mad at them for violating your boundaries? Or are you just upset with yourself for violating your own and not setting them strong enough in the first place? And it's true. Everything in our lives is a mirror, and I've been learning that just through my own self-reflection and my own self-learning and just observation, that everything around us is a mirror. The lens we view the world with is what we get more of. And by having stricter boundaries with myself and not wasting my energy willy-nilly and not allowing things to take my energy, whether it's strangers that I come across in the world or bad news in my life or my phone, for example, and just being so scatterbrained, even just the thoughts in my mind, by keeping things more organized and having better boundaries with it, I'm able to maintain my attention and keep it in the present moment. And attention is energy, and by not spending that energy so frivolously and foolishly, it doesn't get all dispersed. You can't have much progress happening when all of your energy is scattered everywhere. Things work better when they do happen one thing at a time. And by keeping and maintaining that energy where I need it, where it serves me best, by being very intentional with what I'm allowing myself to consume, how far I'm allowing my thoughts to run, the quality of thoughts that I'm having, I'm learning that I'm cultivating this really safe space inside of me that's so powerful. And in turn, I'm loving it and myself so much that I'm not letting other people take advantage of that. I used to be so foolish with the amount of energy I would just give away to bosses, to friends, to strangers, to scenarios, to media, to anything I was consuming or interacting with in my surroundings. And through creating these boundaries with myself, I'm far more comfortable and willing and confident in setting them with other people. If a situation or a person isn't serving me, it's far easier now to draw those lines because I've been having that practice in myself with drawing those lines with my own habits, my own thoughts, and my own experiences that I don't want to have. So with that, these ways to be magnetic through brainwashing yourself with meditation and hypnosis, through approaching things with a bit more neutrality and not spending that energy foolishly and mindlessly, and also by setting really great boundaries, I've been able to prune out the different people and situations that don't align with me. I've been able to manifest a job that I love. I've been able to have so much more gratitude in my heart, so much more forgiveness for past situations and people and even experiences within myself, versions of myself. So much more forgiveness and compassion for these than those tight negative emotions. And the last most powerful thing has been the room that I'm able to create, the confidence I'm able to build, and the new people and experiences and opportunities that I'm able to attract by being more picky with how I'm spending my mental, as well as making sure that the quality of my thoughts are higher, that I am embodying these emotions and concepts that I so freely give to others. The gratitude and love and compassion and patience we give to other people should be the same, if not more, of what we give to ourselves. With that, I'm going to do a little card pull just to kind of sum up this energy and see what we could all use a little bit more of. Woo! And just like that, We got the Eagle card. To see things from a higher perspective, to zoom out and step back into what we're actually looking to gain from things. The higher perspective of paying attention, wanting that goodness, reflecting, seeing what best serves us and what we can do better to make ourselves better, to make this world better, to make our experiences better. All of that is in our control. All of that will make us more magnetic because what we cultivate inside grows. The habits we form grow. And by cultivating more gratitude, more magnetism, more happiness, more abundance, we're able to attract those things further back into our life. By pruning away some of that negativity, that hostility, that doubt, that shame, that guilt, that anxiety, by taking stock and controlling and not identifying with those things, we're going to get less of that reflected back to us. So don't forget, view things from a higher perspective. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. Happy to have you. Happy to be here. Stay well.